Hi there, it's Miss Mangus here. I am here to talk to you about some graphic novels you may not have heard of that you may not have read as well. Now, we all read Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Amulet and all those good books, but we've got a list here of books you may not have considered that are just as good. Okay, first up on the list is Cucumber Quest. Now, this book is really awesome because it has humor, it has adventure, and it has wacky characters with weird names like Cucumber and Almond. Now, in this particular book, it's up to Cucumber to save the Donut Kingdom. But the problem is he doesn't want to save anything, so he enlists the help of his little sister Almond, and they're trying to defeat somebody. They're trying to defeat Queen Cordelia's Nightmare Knight. This is the first one in the series. I think you will really like it. I like the artwork. I like the bright colors. It's something new and it's something different. Okay, now we have Secret Coders. This book takes place at a private school, but it's actually more like a creepy haunted house. And the premise of the book is it's up to the characters in the book and you to solve the mystery. This is very interactive because you're going to solve the mystery not necessarily by reading it from cover to cover, but you're going to solve it by doing some coding and some puzzles and some other activities. So if you're the hands-on type, you will definitely like Secret Coders. Okay, next up is a book called Cub. Now, if you are a fan of Raina Telgemeier's Smile and Sisters, you will like this book. It's about a girl that goes to middle school, and she has some of the same problems that some of you may be facing with friendships and things like that. Now, what's really interesting about this book is it takes place in the 1970s, so it's really cool to see how students entertained themselves back then. There were no cell phones, there was no social media, there was nothing like this. Of course, it takes on a couple more issues like gender and women's rights and things like that. So I think you will like that one. After that, we have a series called The Lumberjanes. It's about a set of girls that go to a summer camp, but these girls aren't the Girl Scout type. They like fun, they like adventure. Now, the camp that they go to is a little bit different because it's kind of paranormal. They find yetis, three-eyed wolves, giant falcons, and this whole place has a mystery that they're trying to solve. And if you like this book, it's the first in a series, and it's also available, if graphic novels aren't your thing, it's also available in a chapter book series. Okay, Phoebe and her unicorn. When Phoebe skips a rock across a pond, she finds that she hits a unicorn square in the head. And the unicorn says, "Since you found me, you can have anything you want." Well, Phoebe has her wish, but what she really wants is to have a best friend, so she chooses the unicorn to be her best friend. Now, this is a series that's not necessarily early elementary. I think it would work really well for middle school. So if you like fantasy and you like unicorns, and who doesn't, try this series. Okay, next up is Gear Hero. It's by an author called Jake Maddox. He has a set of books in the library, a set of chapter books that you may have read that are very, very short. Well, now he's introduced some books in graphic novel form. This one is about a boy named Nelson, who loves BMX racing. Now, he's not a racer himself, but he likes to draw comics and he creates this hero. Well, his brother Nick is a racer, and one day Nick is injured in a competition, and he believes that Nelson has what it takes to take his place in the race. So you'll have to find out if that is true by reading Gear Hero. Okay, then we have a book called Invisible Emmy. And it is a story of two different girls. There's Emmy, who is a little quiet and shy and doesn't like to interact much. And then there is Katie, who is very athletic and outgoing. And it's told from the perspective of Emmy and Katie. And as you may have guessed, their worlds do collide at some point, all because of an embarrassing note that falls into somebody's hands. This is the first book in a series, and it features different characters. So if you also like the Raina Telgemeier series of books, you'll like the series too. Okay, Bad Guys is also a series. We have a couple of these in the library. We don't have them all, but the premise behind them is that all the bad guys that you see in like fairy tales and on TV, they come to life in this book. There is a Mr. Wolf and his friends, and they decide they want to make a new name for themselves. So they're going to set out to become good guys. And this first one in the series is just called The Bad Guys. And there's a couple more after it. So if you like fairy tales and things like that, this is a good one. It's pretty funny and it's a pretty quick read. Okay, next up is a book called Comic Squad. Comic Squad. And it features a couple of different scenarios about going to school. This one is called Detention. And as you can tell by the cover, the artwork is very unique. It's very similar to what you would read in a newspaper in the Sunday comics. That's the art style. This one's called Detention. There's one also called, I believe, Lunchroom or Lunch that you might like. Lastly, we have Batman Adventures. Now, Batman needs no introduction. We all know who he is, but we have these books in the library as well as a couple other superhero books that you might be interested in. So that is just a list of a couple of extra graphic novel books that you may not know that we had and that you would like. So if you want to check these out or any of these like these, you can put them on hold or you can stop by the library. We've got a lot of them on display. Hope to see you soon.